Hello, welcome to Naturally We've Been Naturalizing. Today we're going to be talking about this beautiful flower in behind me here. The flower is of course the Arrowleaf Balsamroot. It's a perennial. It can be 20 to 80 centimeters tall and it has an aromatic woody taproot with soft hairy stems. The leaves, you can see the leaves here. They're arrow-shaped, they're large, can be up to 30 centimeters. And you look at the back, right, they can have kind of like dense, like little fur, little hairs on them. The flowers, you can see, they're solitary heads, right? They're solitary heads. Also, lots of dense little hairs on them. The roots, now, the roots are interesting. It was fun learning about them. They can be up to almost 9 feet deep. So that's like 2.7 meters. And at depth, they can have lateral roots or that go up for up to a meter. So really cool, and they can actually have about a 10 centimeter diameter at the base. And times when people couldn't find somewhere to tie up their horse, they would dig down deep. They would find a big one, and they would tie their horse up to one of these. They're also really cool adaptation for fire. If a fire rolls through an area, that root regenerates, and the flower usually survives. It was also a flower that is widely used by those within the Okanagan Nation Alliance, including the Silk people. At the buds in spring emerge, and when they're about 2 to 3 centimeters long, you can grab them and you can eat them just raw, and apparently they're absolutely delicious. Some other things that this was used for was a wide variety of things, and the leaves were actually used and stuffed sometimes in moccasins with deer hair in winter to keep feet warm. A real interesting find. Now also the seeds here, were used and harvested, and they resemble the sunflower seeds. They're much smaller, but they were used and they were crushed. They could be crushed, or they could be used and the nuts put into other different foods. But they could be stored up to 6 years. These plants, a real mature stand can take 10, 20 years to establish itself. And they're really cool, neat plants. Now they have these hairs on them. They have all these hairs on the bottom side here, and on their legs. It's called pubescence. Anyway, the hairs in this case are used to help avoid evapotranspiration, avoid water loss through the stomatic cells. So the hairs kind of provide a little bit of a barrier, so the wind doesn't just kind of blow. The wind and the heat, it doesn't just cause water loss in this plant. So it's super adapted to our area, right? It has that deep taproot. It has these little hairs all over it, and it's really cool. It's called the Arrowleaf Balsamroot. Early, it's what else can I tell you other than it comes out in spring. It's also called spring sunflower, and it's a beautiful splash of color in our area in the spring. So anyway, we got the Arrowleaf Balsamroot, and like to encourage everyone to check it out and to obviously rock on. Naturally, we're naturalizing, looking at the world around us. Naturally, we're naturalizing. Get out there and explore Vernon Community School. Lots of sweet things to see. I'm serious.